I have a little bit of a fear of birds. I think that's probably the most appropriate thing to call it, is a fear of birds, man. And I think it's ornithophobia, they call it. Ornithophobia. And that is the fear of birds. But I'm not one to accept my fears. Many fears are irrational. But I decided one day, I was like, enough is enough, dude. I am gonna conquer this fear because if you approach your fear, if you attack your fear, it will no longer be a fear, right? So this happened a few years ago. And so I'm walking from campus. I used to study at a nearby university. And as I'm walking, I'm like, okay, I see some pigeons, right? And then I was like, okay, I got this. I'm gonna run at these pigeons. They're gonna fly away, and I will have conquered my fear. And so I'm running now. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna run. And even before I even get close, a few of them fly away. There's one left, right? I'm like, okay, fine. There's still one. I'm gonna get him, and he's gonna fly away, and then my fear has been conquered. So I run at this guy, and he doesn't budge, dude. He just gives me one of those, like that. Pigeons, the birds, they give you like that side. That's how you know they're looking at you. Actually, when they're like this, they're not looking at you, but then they give you that look. And this thing gave me that look, and I was like, ah! And then I ran away. So, mission unsuccessful. Let's start the show. Hello and welcome back to the show. All over the show, where your host, Xavier, that's me. I don't know why I'm talking in the third person. But, anyways, this is a show in which I just go all over the show. I explore my thoughts, explore ideas, explore fears and hopes and dreams. Just whatever nonsense comes out of my brain, you get to hear it firsthand, unedited and I guess unprompted either. So that's yeah. So welcome to the show. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. Please do. I every little bit helps. And yeah, feel free to like it as well. That doesn't really matter to me, but what really is fun is just to do it. I was reading I'm a huge fan of Reddit, and on Reddit, you have all these little communities on there, and each little community is a group of people that get to discuss certain topics that are posted. Like I could post like what made you want to start your YouTube channel. Like let's say on the new YouTubers subreddit, someone can post there. So I saw someone posted there this morning, and someone said, "Are you doing it for fun or for the money?" And 100, okay, not 100%, but so many people, I would say maybe 85% of the people were like, this thing, I've wanted to do it, I'm doing it. And I love that because that really it motivates me as well, to just continue doing this thing. Not that I've ever been in doubt about doing this. I think this is really fun. I really do enjoy it. And yeah, so this is just what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna keep doing, unless they force me to stop. And I don't know who even they are, and whoever they are, I don't even know who they think they are, because no one's gonna stop me. I ain't never gonna stop. And yeah, so it's like a fun little thing for me. Call it a project, and I hope to embark on other projects, on this channel. I just need to I'm about to say something that I actually correct people on all the time. When someone says, "Oh, I just don't have the time." No, find the time, dude. So yeah, that's what I need to do. I need to find the time. But nonetheless, speaking of time, um, last week I visited my dad for a week. Not last week, the week before actually, but according to you, it'll be last week because in the previous video I said I will go there. But whatever, doesn't matter. So I went there. My dad lives on a military base, basically in the middle of nowhere. It's a Luatla army base or military base, And yeah, it's far out, dude. It's like 400 and something kilometers away. It's 4.5 hour drive from Bloemfontein to there. And we went there, and my dad really wanted us to go, and it was cool. I wanted to do that for him, but what I didn't realize was that it turned out to be such a good thing for me, you know. Um, so when I was there, I brought all my equipment with everything you see here. I brought it with, and I was like, I'm gonna make sure that I film another episode of different location and all that. And then when I got there the first day, so we arrived there on the Saturday. We left here Saturday. We got there Saturday. And then let's say on the Monday, I call, for me, Monday's technically the first day, even though Sunday is actually the first day. But for me, Monday just means the start of the week. This is where we get work done. And I told myself, why don't you just relax? Just relax for a day. Just take this day. You don't need to think about content. You don't need to think about, anything. You don't need to think about anything. You're on holiday, treat it like a holiday. And I was like, okay, fine. Then what I did most of the day was just read, read, watch TV. Like I don't watch TV. So it was something, I consider that to be a recreational activity, is to watch TV. But in the day, just chilling, and it was nice. It was nice, believe it or not. It was relaxing. I think that's what I can call it. And you know what? After that day, I felt different. I felt so different. I felt so. I want to say relaxed. I want to say almost like, when you use your phone while it's charging. I'm sure you've done that. We are so addicted to these devices. When you use your phone while it's charging, and it's like, I probably shouldn't do this, because why am I using the energy that this device has while replenishing the energy that it has. And obviously it's going to take longer to recharge. And so I think that's what I've been doing, this whole time. Like man, I don't even remember since when. But it almost feels like for years I've been going non-stop, dude. Because I have this weird, or not weird, but I have a sort of negative attitude towards what I consider to be laziness, And in retrospect, a lot of what I thought was laziness is really just rest. And my definition of rest has always been, okay, just make sure you get enough sleep. Make sure that you stop working at a certain time in the day. That was what I considered rest. Only to find out, dude, I have not been resting. I've been charging myself while using like literally, while you use your phone, charging your phone, And it never gets charged. I never got recharged. And then that week that I spent there, the first few days, oh man, it was excellent. I played outside. That's something you don't get to do. Play outside, kick the ball around, pass the ball around with my siblings, and that was fun. I even I have a remote control car. I'm sure you've seen it in the background of previous videos. But I have this remote control car. It's like an off-road type of car that I got for Christmas, actually, this past Christmas. So it's like so cool. I love that my family gets me, and they're like, this guy would love a remote control car. And I do, and I did. So I decided to take it with, because my dad has this huge yard outside, and it's like grass, and there's sand, and there's rocks, and there's like these concrete platforms, and there's flower beds and plant beds and all that. It's like it's a terrain. It's like gravel, and there's stones, and it's just awesome. All right, it's a whole thing. It's a whole place. And I was playing with that thing, dude. I was having a blast. I played until the battery died, and then I recharged it, and then I played again, But it's so cool. Like, I had you kind of forget how simple things can be, How, oh, my nose is starting to itch. I don't know why. I'm not getting emotional. Not yet. I don't like getting emotional on a public platform. But anyways, so I spent this week there, And I even like, okay, for the first 3 days it was awesome. The rest was there. I felt good. I felt energized again, energized in a way that I can't remember ever feeling, and during that time I understood. I was like, this is why people go on holiday. This is exactly why, because you feel better. You feel healed almost, It's like healed without ever realizing that you've been injured, It's like, wow, like, is this how a person can feel? And it felt amazing. Like, there were challenges though, like during the time that we were there. I think they were doing some pipe maintenance, so the water supply was off. There was no water, dude. In the whole area there was no water, so we had to kind of just use the emergency water. That's like, there's a truck parked somewhere, and it's like got a water tank, and everyone that lives in that area had to now get water from there. And yeah, so then we just kind of, you wash yourself in a little, they call it a scottle. A little what can I say, like a dish, man, like a tub, like a plastic tub, or I could say that thing is probably like 50 liters. That's the capacity, but you don't use the whole 50 liters. You maybe use 20 liters of water, warm and cold together. And oh my word, my apologies. And thank you for saying bless you. I heard you. Thank you. And then yeah, so you had to wash in that thing, like you had to wash yourself there. And normally that would bother me. It would bother me. And I was like, this doesn't bother me. I was so relaxed that even just this inconvenience of having to dump water into the toilet, water tank every time you needed to use the toilet, or to boil water in this huge pot on the stove before you need to like do the dishes, or wash yourself, or have your siblings wash as well, or your like father, whatever. It's like, even that was like, this is not a big deal. Like, I just didn't even think about it, only when I came back to Bloom, and my sister had mentioned it. She's like, oh, there was no water there, and I was like, yeah, that didn't even bother me. I was totally unfazed by this. And I think it's really like, I really understand the value of rest, of true rest, of going hard to the paint all the time is helpful. It's productive. It's it provides the results necessary for life to continue in a satisfactory way. However, you do need to rest if that's how you want to do it. If you wake up and then it's non-stop until you sleep, it's not sustainable. And so what's happened is, it's sort of like this week away. I even took I took this out when I was there. I took everything with, so I took this keyboard out. It's covered now, but this little MIDI controller, I took that out and I hooked it up to the equipment, and I was even like messing around, like trying to create something, trying to create like some kind of musical concept that I can add, or that I can use, or an outline that I can sort of put together to make a song or whatever, And I realized then and there that there's a lot more that I need to learn, first of all, because it's a lane of, it's a skill that you need to develop. So I'm getting into that, But it was still fun to come up with some sort of ideas, because I have a very basic understanding of how it works. I won't say how music production works, but rather just how to activate a sound and connect it to this thing, and play, make some music, record something. So I've been doing that, and it's been really fun, But even then I was like, I'm just gonna do this for tonight. It was in the evening. Just gonna do this for tonight, and then I'm still just gonna go back to chilling, And that happened on the Thursday. So we got there the Saturday. I don't count the Sunday. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Those were my 3 holiday days. Holiday days. Anyways. And it's such a weird thing to say. Holiday days. Volleyball, ball. tennis ball, soccer ball, basketball ball, baseball ball, table tennis table, tennis table, tennis table, table tennis. I'm confusing myself. Anyway, sorry for that random interruption in consciousness. That was weird. But I think they just saw some funny words. Anyway, so like it was so nice to sleep and not have to set an alarm. So I didn't oversleep either, which was awesome. It's like go to bed whenever, wake up whenever. It's like it feels amazing. You wake up, you have breakfast, you sit outside, the sun is shining, it's a beautiful day. You get to read, open up a book. You don't have to worry about Netflix and TV. You don't need to worry about that. You just realize that those are all distractions. You need to live. You don't need to be distracted. You need to live. You need to have your thoughts. You need to experience your thoughts. You need to think what's going on in here. You need to reflect. And that's what I did. I reflected. I reflected on how I've been living. I reflected on how stressed I've been. I've been stressed without even realizing it. And I only realized it when it was gone. And I didn't even think about it that much until I got back to this normal life, the normal routine. When your holiday's over, you come back and you just have to get things going again. But it's not the same anymore, and that feels amazing. So yeah, it's been an excellent journey for me. I think a personal journey of growth, I would say. And so many times I would get emotionally involved in things that don't require my emotional involvement at all. Like what like when someone, I used to always feel, and this is something that's kind of, I won't say plagued me, I don't want to be dramatic, but it's been a bother for a long time, for my whole life, I think. And it's always been like, okay, like let's say somebody's just quiet, and it's just me and that person, whether it's my girlfriend or my brother or my sister or my father or my mother, whoever, right? Let's say things are just quiet in the presence of each other. Then I, for some reason, I will feel like I've done something wrong and I need to apologize to this person. Isn't that weird? Or maybe they say something that's, kind of, what did you just say to me? But then you think, okay, this person clearly has an attitude towards me or has something against me, And nowadays, like ever since I got back from holiday, man, I'm back now 2 weeks. This is the second week I've been back. It's like, it's gone. It's gone. Like, even if someone has like a proper issue with me, where they can make a direct comment, it's like, nonchalant. I'm nonchalant about it. And that feels great, because it's like, there are things that matter that require your emotional involvement. There are things that don't matter at all that do not require your emotional involvement. And if you getting involved makes a difference in the situation, a positive difference, fine, allow it. But if getting emotionally involved in something has no bearing on the situation, doesn't help at all, maybe even might make things worse for yourself and for others, don't bother, dude. Don't make things worse for yourself and others. Make things better, And sometimes doing nothing and saying nothing is the better thing, Because then you realize this person isn't angry with me. They're just having a bad day, which is something I would have never thought of before. Like, so it's really, that holiday did me good. I think it changed me. It changed me, something that I think has been causing stress for me a lot, and this is during my reflection during the holiday. And I reflected just on what could have been contributing to the emotional distress I've been experiencing. Because I used to get so anxious all the time. When I lay in bed, I'm just anxious, man. You know that feeling when you get into bed, like when you were still in school, right? And if you are still in school, shout out, man. Study hard, stay in school, don't do drugs. And you'd be laying in bed, and then you're like, I didn't do my homework, because that happens to me. I completely forget that I have homework. Then you forget in bed, you're like, I didn't do my homework. Oh no, or you wonder, like, yeah, did I really finish everything? I think there might be an assignment that's due tomorrow, but I'm not sure, and I'm not willing to check either. I'm kind of stuck now. What do they call it? Task paralysis. And I felt like that even into my adult life. Like literally before the holiday, before I went away. That's how I felt. Every night I would lay in bed, I'd be like, I feel like I have homework to do. But it's like not there. It's gone. So I realized so many things like that I've been kind of, just bagging on myself. And, when you don't need to, you absolutely don't need to, you can bear other people's burdens. But if it's not necessary for that burden to be borne by anybody, then don't, So yeah, it's like, it's been such an interesting emotional experience, I would say. Because it's also like what was I gonna say now? Oh man, I can't believe I just lost my train of thought. Well, how much time are we in for? I don't even know. What time did we start? We might be 15 minutes in. I don't know. Anyways, are we still recording actually? Sometimes I worry, like, oh my word, did I press record? Because that's happened before. Jeez. But anyways, what was I talking about? I think. So while I was on holiday, you do a lot of reflection. I just reflected on what's causing all the stress and things, and then I realized that a set of circumstances has been thrust upon me. For those, if you're not aware, right? My family has been in a very complicated situation for, let's see, since 2017. I would say 2017. So that's about 7 years, dude. 7 years. For the past 7 years, my family has been in a very complicated situation. And that situation is my father, had an opportunity for a promotion. Okay. This might have been his last opportunity for a promotion in the military. And the requirement of this promotion would be that he'd have to relocate. All right. So he moves to Polokwane. My family stays behind. Now it's like my mother has to take care of things, obviously financially my parents are both still, it's still a thing, they are married. Financially they both take care of the household, but without my father there's so many things that you need to take care of, so many responsibilities that you take care of. And then the following year, the plan was for us all to relocate that side, So my two younger siblings, they were still in primary school. They moved to where he was, and then they attended school there. My mother was awaiting a transfer from Bloemfontein to Polokwane, which never materialized. So while she was waiting for that, she was still working in Bloem, and she kind of lived on her own. We were moved to a student house. My mother lived on her own, and my younger brother and sister. And when I say we, I mean me and my brother. We're more close in age. We're 3 years apart. At the time I was 22. He was 19. So yeah. So then we lived together in a student house. And then my mother lived alone. My two younger siblings with my dad. In Polokwane. So we were, it was kind of a split up situation, and now it's like, okay, I just have to take care of my brother. That's all. We looked after each other. We took care of each other, emotionally and materially. So that was all right. And then we finally got back together as a family. Not really. My mother found this flat, and then me and my brother, we moved in with her, with this other lady that we know, friend of ours. Really, we all live together. So it's my mom, our friend and my brother and I. We lived there. And then that was 2019. 2020, they came here. My two siblings decided they're going to move here. And that happened. But then the pandemic hit. So we all traveled back to Polokwane. We were together as a family for 3 months. That was awesome. Besides all the cabin fever and all the propaganda of vaccines and masks and all that nonsense. But I'm not going to go into that about COVID, how the government lied to us, That's still going to come out, and everyone's going to be like, I will never trust the government again, because at where I'm sitting now, I don't trust the government at all. But anyways, so that happened, and then we as a family, was awesome together. We, literally spent so much time together. The 6 of us, it was fantastic. Me and my 3 siblings and my parents. It was excellent. Then, pandemic was over, come back to Bloom and all that. My dad is still not with us. Okay, that is what it is. Our flatmate, the roommate person, she moves away, and now it's like my mother and myself and my 3 siblings. So it's the 5 of us. Okay, and that's how it's been. Then in November of 2023, this was last year, my mother passes away. So all the responsibilities of knowing what must be taken care of, knowing what to do, providing emotional support for these school-going children, and also, like, for me and my brother, we're both adults, but we support each other. It's like that has just been thrust upon me, and I'm not one to shy away from a responsibility. And so that's what happened. I suddenly became responsible for 3 people. Their well-being is my responsibility, and I think I accepted the responsibility, but it wasn't voluntary, and that there's a big difference. Right? And this is what I'm getting to. During my time when I was on holiday, I experienced that voluntary adoption of that responsibility. I was like, that's it. That's why I've been so stressed, so frustrated, so angry, so overwhelmed, and I think overwhelmed is maybe the main word of all those, emotional states. Feeling overwhelmed because this was not the responsibility that I chose, and I decided then and there, when I figured that out, I was like, choose it. And so I did. I chose the responsibility, and it made all the difference. I realized I'm much happier putting others first than myself, and there's scientific research to back this up, and I only found this out later. So I decided, okay, I'll put myself last, and what's crazy? I was reading in the day I decided that, I was reading the Bible that night, as I do every night. I try and read a chapter, every night. I don't get it every night, because some nights you're like, if I read now, I'm gonna fall asleep while reading, and then I will not have taken in any of the word. So yeah. But anyway, so this particular night I read, and it was Apostle Paul writing. I think it was in Timothy. I'm not even sure. 1 Timothy. And he was basically telling Timothy, you need to do what I do. You need to put them first. Put yourself last. And he mentioned like how Jesus did the same thing. How Jesus, he led from the front, especially in serving, because his external ministry, the one his public ministry was, teaching and serving everybody. And then even when he was in his private ministry, he washed the guys' feet, man. He washed their feet. This is their leader, essentially God. And he washes the feet of his disciples, these imperfect men, these people who are flawed, as we all are. And he was like, I'm the king of kings. I am the most pure soul that's ever walked this earth. I am I am the perfect person, and I'm gonna wash your feet. You know? and so and that's what Paul talks about in that. And then I was like, you know what, Xavier, what would happen if you were to just serve? And then since that night, because I came to this conclusion on this day, and the night, that same night, I read that. I was like, it has to be, like you can't. It's uncanny. And then I was like, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. And then I've been doing it. I've decided that whatever I want to do is less important, and it's made all the difference in the world. Do you know why? Because even if I wanted to put myself first, I wouldn't be able to. So if I expected myself to be put first, my needs, my desires to be put first, knowing full well, Xavier, it's not going to happen for you, bro. That would make me unhappy. And it did make me unhappy. And then when I changed this whole thing, I switched up that attitude, and now I'm happy. My circumstances have not changed. They are the same. It's the same demands, same expectations, but my attitude has changed completely, and I feel different. I feel like a new person. I feel like a totally different person. Obviously, my personality is still the same. I'm still this fun, insane character that you are. That you are. That you have the I guess the pleasure of watching. I don't know. I don't know if you enjoy this or not. But if you've been watching until now, let's see how much time has passed. And I really need a clock in this place. But anyway, so you've been watching for this long, you've been enjoying it, so thank you and bless you. But if you sneezed, I don't know if you sneezed. Did you sneeze? Did you sneeze? I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, I realized that that's gonna make me more happy. Then I read in the book that I've been reading, which I finished now. It's Tony Robbins' Money, Master the Game. It's basically about finances. It's a finance book. It's more about investments, really, and how to, put your investment portfolio together to ensure wealth in any season of the markets. Which is an interesting thing. It's an interest of mine that might not interest you in the slightest, but it's cool. It's like how to generate long-term wealth throughout the crises of debt and the market dropping and the booms and the all the ups and downs of the market. Throughout that, you can still make a serious amount of wealth, generational wealth, even where even your kids and your grandkids can enjoy the wealth that you create. But anyways, that's not the point. The last section of the book talks about it's everything except for money. It's about serving. It's about what can you do? What positive impact do you have in the world? How can you make that happen? What are you good at? Whatever you're good at, go and do that for people, And obviously, that's not what I'm doing, but it's like, okay, so I decided this thing to put myself first, to put others first. I read it in the Bible, and now the book that I've been reading for the past few months, because it's a thick book, man. It's super thick. Then that says a similar thing about serving others, but also it presents research, and this is my point. In the book, the author presents some research that has been done, and they did a few studies. The one study was they gave people $5. They gave a group of people $5. I don't know if someone just knocked on the door, but I'm home alone. Let's not worry about that now. Hello? Nah, there's no one here. Anyways, could just be my imagination. It was just my imagination running away with me. Anyways, what was I saying again? You see, it happened. It happened again. The research. I can't wait to have an assistant in the room. Then, like, whenever I get off track, they can just remind me what I was talking about. But anyways, what? Oh, the research that was presented was like they gave a group of people $5 and they told some of them to give that money away. No. They told some of them to buy a cup of coffee for someone else. Take someone to the coffee shop, buy them a cup of coffee with that money. Another group was told, here's your $5, go and buy yourself a cup of coffee. Then they told another group of people, buy a cup of coffee, go buy a gift card with this money and give it to someone so that they can go buy themselves a cup of coffee. So that was the three groups. The first group reported a significant increase in happiness, and obviously this is measurable by the chemicals in our brain. Reported a significant rise in, and it's crazy. It's something like 25%. I don't know. I'm definitely messing up the numbers, but it was a significant boost in overall happiness. The group that was told to buy themselves coffee, their happiness went down. Isn't that interesting? You would think being able to buy yourself something is like a boost in your happiness. It isn't. It goes down, dude. Isn't that interesting? And the group that was told to buy a gift card and give it to anyone but don't go to the coffee shop with them, they reported even more happiness than the first group. So it's like, it's good for you to be charitable, you know? And they've done more studies. I'm not going to go into it, but it's super interesting to realize that. Oh, and by the way, they compared that with how happy you would be to be doubling your salary. Let's say whatever your salary is, double it, right? They only reported a 9% increase in happiness. And then after that doubling, when there was more money, like when they were earning more money, there was no change in their happiness levels. So it's like, you can say money buys happiness, but, they say money doesn't buy happiness, right? They say that. And it does, but only 9%, dude. And then more money doesn't buy more happiness. You just are happy, 9%. Then you give to someone you know, someone you care about, but then you also give to someone you don't know and someone you don't care about. And that makes you even more happy. So what I'm saying is, how I've been feeling, and I've been feeling so great, because it's like, oh, you need me to do this for you? I will do it, Not expecting anything in return, because doing that is its own reward. Now I'm flooded with endorphins. I'm super happy. I'm feeling great because I get to make a difference in this person's life. They asking me to do this, and I'll do it for them. Even if they don't ask me, man, let me do it for them. Why not? What do I have to lose? Or rather, what exactly am I losing by doing that? Because you would think like, oh, I can't give my R5. How am I going to get parking money? It tends to happen that if you give that money away, you probably have some money still, But anyways, I'm not talking about money here. So even during the time, this past 2 weeks, I've been doing this experiment and I'm basically sharing my findings with you. Even when I was inconvenienced, like in a way of like, I need to post this video on a Friday, but I can't because I've just been so busy doing all these things for these people that I care about. But I don't even feel anxious about it, Whereas in the past, I'd be like, I can't do this for you. I need to post this video. Like, no, you actually, Xavier, you don't need to post this video right now. You need to help whoever needs help. And it feels so good. Oh my word, I cannot get over that. But yeah, so that's been my experience. I think I had an awakening, I think, and I like it. I like it, and I like how I'm living now. I like I said, externally nothing has changed. My circumstances are the same. The demands placed on me are the same. The expectations of me are the same that I have of myself, that others have of me. They have not changed, but man, something has changed, and it feels great. So, anyway, I don't know if you are still watching. I never know, but whatever. If you're still watching, then fantastic. Say you can say in the comments, still watching. That'll be a interesting thing. But I do enjoy this project that I'm embarking on. And as I said I think it was in the first episode, I said that I would be using this as a way to sort of get through my own thinking, my own thoughts. And I really I endorse holidays. Go on a long holiday, son. Go. Okay, so I think for me, I maybe just need 3 days. Like after the third day, on the fourth day, I get bored. I'm like, okay, I've done all the things now. Maybe I just need more things to do. And so I've been thinking about that, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna plan a huge vacation, and I've been planning it. And it's not gonna be this year, it's not gonna be next year, it's not gonna be the year after. It's gonna be in 3 years. So 2027, let's see, 5, 6, 7, 2027. I'm going on holiday, and I'm gonna pack that holiday with activities. However, there also needs to be downtime, so that's where I'm trying to find the balance. There needs to be a place that I go to that offers that sort of thing. But I'm sure most places do. But it doesn't even matter where. It can be anywhere in the world. But in 3 years, I'm going on holiday. It's gonna be an extended holiday, so maybe, man, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month. I think I'd love to be away for a month. Wouldn't that be cool? But anyways, life, it doesn't always offer such freedoms, which is okay, because you need to be serving somebody. And if it's between wanting to serve somebody and not wanting to serve somebody, you still have to serve somebody, so you might as well want to. So yeah, I've been in a good space. It really is a nice feeling to just do stuff for people without any why must I do this? Like, if you just let go of that, oh my word, it feels so good, because you just get to do stuff for people. But okay, I'm rambling now. I've made my point. Serve, really, just serve, and it has its own reward. You're not gonna be paid to serve. You're not gonna be thanked to serve. And you don't need those things. It's its own reward when you do something for somebody, whether it puts a smile on their face or not. It feels good. Oh, it feels so good. That feels good. But anyways, yeah. What else? What else is there to discuss with you, man? By the way, I haven't really put anything together for this episode, because it's been so long. I just feel like let's just wing it, man. Don't overthink it. Just go for it. But yeah. So things have been pretty good for me. I finally finished the book that I've been reading. I've been reading that book since it's July now. I've been reading that book since April. Obviously with some, I definitely count ill discipline into why it wasn't read as much, but I have become a lot more disciplined in terms of reading. I think even if you just read 5 minutes a day, you should be able to you should read at least 5 minutes a day. And there's also research to back up why. I think it's good for your brain, it's good for your memory, and yeah, it's also good for like your ability to rest as well. So 5 minutes of reading a day, I think is really solid. For me, I don't think that's enough. I think you need maybe 30 minutes, dude. Like 30 minutes, you can get through a couple of chapters. You know what I mean? Especially if you're reading like non-fiction, like something worth learning about. Go ahead and read that. But I mean, if it's fiction, 5 minutes of reading for fiction is like, you're not really keeping track of the story, are you? Especially if it's like, like a Harry Potter type of book, or like something thick, where it's like there's a series involved, there's a lot of details to understand and to know. So but it doesn't matter, however much time you want to read, I would keep it to a minimum of 5 minutes. And I've been reading that. It's done now. I've been excited to get back into reading about philosophy, or reading philosophy, not reading about philosophy, but it's kind of the same thing. And yeah, so I've been getting back into Nietzsche, and it's a book I've read before, Beyond Good and Evil. And I think the more I read, like, it's the second time I've read this book, so actually the third time. The first and second times, I had no idea what this person is saying, you know. I think it's partly because the book is translated from German into English, but more importantly, the ideas are so complex and so deep that it requires a few reads to understand it. And I think even then, you don't truly fully understand what's happening. But I think it feels good because I'm starting to understand what is being said, you know, what is being said about the free spirit, you know, what it means to be a free spirit, what it means to be a free thinker, what it means to be an individual, you know, and how to navigate that, you know, how to navigate that in this world where the temptation to be part of a group is so big and so constant that you it's easy to fall into that trap, you know. And he even discusses like religion, you know, the culture of religion, and he talks a lot about like Christianity. Obviously, I think in his time that was the prominent thing in his country. He's from Germany. Nietzsche is a German, so you know, Protestantism, Protestantism, you know, like Martin Luther and those guys, they created that tradition of Christianity in Germany, you know, or in Germany, England, wherever you wanna go about it, you know, Protestants. But anyways, so yeah, that's all about the Reformation, really. I'm not gonna go into that because that's you can watch a YouTube video about the Reformation, in which you know, figures like Martin Luther. I'm not talking about Martin Luther King Jr. That's another guy, okay? And it took me a while. Like during my childhood, I always heard about these two people, and I always thought it was the same person. I was like, how did Martin Luther live in the 1500s? But it's the same guy that like was responsible for, you know, the biggest civil rights movement in American history. Like, what is going on? What's going on here? You know? And then later on, you discover, nah, that's two different guys, dude. You know? Isn't that funny how that works? Like, as kids, we know nothing, dude. As kids, you don't know anything. Like, come and think, what else did I used to misunderstand as a child? Oh my goodness. Like like I think this is gonna sound wild, okay? But I used to think that if you kiss somebody, that's how they get pregnant, dude. That's what I thought. Oh man, you can imagine that first lesson in natural science about the reproductive system. You're like, what? You know, you're like, what? So it's not, you know. But anyway, yeah, that's you know, as a kid you're just dumb, bruh. Like that's what you are. You're not even if you're a smart kid, you're still. I mean, I feel like I was a smart kid, you know. But even as a smart kid, bro, you don't know anything, dude. I think even up to the point where you're like 18, dude, you just finished learning to speak. You know, now you're welcome to talk, but if you're still in school, you're still learning to talk, man. Come on, that's what English is. That's what Afrikaans is. Like, you're learning to speak, dude. You're learning to count. That's what mathematics is. You're learning to calculate things. You're learning about the world. That's what history is. And geography. You're learning about the world. You're learning about... Yeah, okay, I'm not going to explain every subject, you know. You get the point. The kids are dumb, you know. But we love them. They're adorable. Anyways, where was I? What was I saying? I just need to check the time again. Oh, I should probably go this way then. That's easier. Alright, we're gonna go for another 15 minutes. I think it's not gonna be too long. Because I have to go somewhere. I have to go fetch my aunt. She has to go to the police station to fill out an affidavit or something, or have something certified. I'm not even sure. And then I gotta go fetch my sister at school. And after that, I'll get lunch. Maybe I should get lunch before that, because Dad is hungry. But what was I talking about? Oh, free thinking. Okay. So, and being an individual. Okay. So there's a lot of temptations to join and even you can still be an individual. I believe this is maybe not what Nietzsche agrees with, um, because but the thing is, when you read someone or something, you are allowed to disagree with them, you know. But I think I think he didn't think it far enough. I don't think he, and I think a lot of atheists are this way. But he also criticizes atheism. Like, it's so funny. Like, he criticizes the religious people, and then he also criticizes people who don't believe in anything. You know, it's so interesting. Very complicated guy, Nietzsche. But anyways, so what I found interesting was that, you know, he says, but I'm sure it's also like based in the time that he's in, you know, because nowadays you get people who believe in God, like myself. I consider myself to be the kind of person who can still have his own thoughts, who can still think critically and still look at things in a critical way, but still believe in God. You know, I think his issue truly is with dogma. And dogma just means that whatever the doctrine is, I accept it fully, without question, without without any, without question. You know, just accepting it fully. And that sort of dogmatic thinking is dangerous. That's why the Crusades happened, you know, where people destroyed, you know, Muslims and Christians were killing each other. You know, that was so many hundreds of years ago, where it's like, we believe this, you believe that, we're going to kill you because you don't believe what we believe. Like, it's ridiculous, you know, this sort of dogmatic way of thinking. And I think that's what Nietzsche criticizes atheists for as well, to say, like, you guys are no different. You have the same dogma, or the same way of dogmatic thought, that you don't believe in anything, then that's what you believe. You know, it's like, there's a paradox there. But anyway, so I've been reading just about the idea of being an individual, and recognizing that what you need to do is to be the person who is willing to question your own intentions, to question your own thoughts, your own desires, your own feelings, like everything. Question it, and also apply that same thinking to everything else, because it's so easy to be captured by an ideology. You know, you see it a lot with people who vote for a certain party in our country, knowing full well that this party is responsible for some of the worst things that have happened in the last 30 years in our country. They have been responsible, you know. The overwhelming amount of poverty, the overwhelming corruption, like it's widespread corruption, and it's blatant, you know. State capture, like, this party has been responsible for this. Like, no, I'm gonna vote for them. You know, like, what? You know, and those are just people that have been captured by an ideology. But anyone else in a different political party is no different, dude. They just like, I believe in what these people say. You know, you can't believe in everything. You have to question some stuff. You have to be able to accept some things and reject other ideas, you know. And I think even in the Bible, this is encouraged. The idea of Jacob wrestling with God, you know. And it's like, you still have these questions, like, God, but this doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you make this happen? Why would you let this happen? Or, why do you use me for this task? I'm not equipped for this. That was a question Moses had all the time. It's like, God, why do you use me for this? I don't even talk to, I'm not a good speaker, you know. Now I must lead your people. Like, that's insane, you know. Or, and there's so many, and even he's like, I killed someone, I'm not a good guy, how can you choose me to be this person, you know. And that's fascinating. So it's like, it's also honest. I think the ability to examine yourself, because that's where you need to start. I think you can't be like, and we all know such people who are critical of everything except themselves. And those are the worst people, honestly. Oh, Like, oh, they have a problem with everything. Whatever you bring up, any topic, they know everything about it, and they hate everything about it. It's exhausting, you know. And those are people I try to stay away from. I don't want to talk to you if that's what you are, if that's who you are, you know. But I think if you want to be critical, you have to be self-critical, and you have to be self-critical first. You have to be able to examine within yourself, why do I even want to be critical? You know. But I think when I say critical, I just mean to think critically, to be able to use discernment, to be able to. I'm still working on the idea. I don't think I fully understand what it means to be critical or to think critically. That's what I mean. But because it has such negative connotations, but I do believe that it just means to take something apart and try to understand it and put it together the way it was, so that you understand it, you know. That's what mechanics do. I mean, people who end up being mechanics were the kids who would take apart the lawnmower and try and figure out how it works. So they would take apart, you know, a car's engine and just be like, okay, so this part goes here, it does this, how does that work? Then they take some more things out. They're like, oh, so that connects to this. You know, that's how you figure things out. And I think if you wanna get to the bottom of things, if you want to truly understand the way of the world, and I think that's our mission. I do believe that's our mission. That's why they talk about the way, the truth, and the life. What is the truth? They say Jesus is the truth. Okay. What does Jesus represent? Serving, love, kindness, compassion. Oh, so that's the truth? Is that the truth of life? And it's like, yes, it is. It's like, I like that. I really do like that. And wow, we've come full circle actually. So, but I'm pretty sure Nietzsche would light me up for that actually, because he's a pretty intense guy. I'm sure he's a very interesting character, but I think I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot from reading philosophy. It was never an interest of mine. It's just I just like, you know, let me pursue something different, you know. I've also been playing chess, so I've been doing a few things. I've been learning a language because I'm just trying to take full advantage of my potential, because I don't know what my potential is. I don't know how far my potential goes, and you don't know either how far your potential goes. So I'm like, okay, Xavier, continue to play the piano. Focus on the piano. The piano is my favorite instrument. Focus on that. Maybe ignore all the other instruments, right? Then, Xavier, learn to play chess. Chess is a game that requires you to be logical and strategic. Learn to play chess. So that's what I've been doing. I've been doing well, but sometimes I get crushed. Sometimes you play against an opponent, like it's online, so you're playing people, and oh man, they just decimate you. But then you also realize I made a mistake. So it's like you have that self-examination again. It's fantastic. You know, you missed something. That's why you lost. And the games where, that's my stomach. Sorry, I'm getting hungry. The games where I do well are the games that I am totally focused, where I'm like aware of my every move and my opponent's every move. And the games where I completely lose is where I have not been able to maintain focus, or I have not paid attention to my moves and to my opponent's possible moves, you know. So it's interesting how that works. But anyways, I've also been learning German. I've always wanted to learn German. As a pianist and an organist, a lot of times, especially with organ music, all the titles are in German, all the directions, all the things are in German. You're like, okay, I don't know this language. I need to learn it, you know. But it's also because I really would love to go visit Germany one day. I want to go visit, like, where Bach used to, you know, play around, and where Beethoven used to play around, and Brahms, and, you know, who else is German? Mahler. And who else is German? Need I say more? I just want to go to where those legends, because those are the people whose music I absolutely adore, you know. When it comes to classical music, obviously, I mostly listen to jazz music anyways. But I want to go to Germany, dude. I think it'll be a really fun experience. And so I want to learn the language, and I've been doing that. So I'm not fluent yet. I can say some sentences, like if I wanna. Nah, I'm not even gonna test myself because I'm gonna boof it. But it's okay. Anyways, yeah, we've come full circle. I think it's this is a fun episode. I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoy what I do here. And maybe that's just for me, you know. Um, but yeah. So what else can I say, man? Life is just going on as normal, and that's also the thing, right? You can't be hooked on whatever happened. You can't get stuck on it, dude, because life keeps moving, dude. Life keeps moving, you know. And I think music is the perfect analogy. Some of my organ students, not some of them, all of them, whenever they make a mistake, they stop. And I'm like, okay, you know you made a mistake, just move on, you know, just play on. We'll come back later to fix the mistake. But if you allow every single mistake you make to stop you in your tracks, it's like, why? You know, when you're performing, and I'll get to how that applies to life now. When you're performing, you play and you make a mistake, you have to go on. You don't have a choice. You have to finish this performance, because maybe you can do something later that in the piece that you're performing that redeems that mistake, you know? And you just have to keep going. Otherwise, you're just going to stop there and be like, oh, I've ruined it now. You only ruined it because you stopped. So how that applies to life is that every day is a performance, and not a performance for an audience. But I mean performance as in you're working, you're moving, you're doing things. That's performance. And if you stop on every little mistake you make or something someone else does, you are not performing. You're not performing optimally, and you want to perform optimally, don't you? So it's like, roll with the punches, man. Things are gonna go wrong. That's a given. That's thermodynamics. It's a law of physics. Things will go wrong. You just have to keep it moving, you know? So yeah, I think I can leave you with that positive message. Things will go wrong. You just have to keep moving. I like that, actually. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you next week.